You know, I listened to a little bit of a video from Lionel B about P. Diddy. And he brought up a good point. And this is the reason I'm starting. Yeah, I am piggybacking a little bit. But I'm putting in a topic that he didn't discuss, as well as one point he did discuss. You see a split picture of P. Diddy besides Chadwick Boseman, which, by the way, today's his birthday, who played T'Challa in the hit film Black Panther. Earlier this year, while he did give Black Panther some credit, he also said Black Panther was a cruel experiment. We live in 2018, and it's the first time that a film industry gave us a fair playing field on a worldwide blockbuster and the hundreds of millions it takes to make it. And he also went on to say, we only get 5% of the venture capital invested in things that are black-owned. Black-owned businesses, black-owned ideas, black-owned IP. You can't do anything without that money, without resources. But when we do get the resources, we over-deliver. When Adidas invests in Kanye and it's done properly, you have the right results. When Live Nation invests in artists and put them in arenas the same way U2 would be, you have the right results. Black Panther, Blackish, fashion, it's all about access. If you're blocked out of the resources, you can't compete. That's my whole thing, to be able to come and compete. And he made some other points, related to the record industry. And while he does have some good points, I find it a little funny. He says this, yet he has actually benefited from some of this too. And quite frankly, if you look at his track record, yes, he has made stars. But how many of them, he's the only one still making multi-millions, which is usually the case with most CEOs. He ain't the only one guilty of this. But not many CEOs put themselves out front in the videos and everything, making them top. And say what you want about Suge Knight, and I have. I don't feel sorry for him. I think he deserves to be in jail personally. But when he said years ago, he said, you want to work for a record label where the CEO is not all up in the videos and all that, come to death row. Yes, it was a warning shot to the so-called East Coast, West Coast feud. But looking back now, you're like, Suge wasn't wrong. Yeah, he was a CEO of Death Row. Now he's an inmate, to quote Snoop Dogg. But think about it. Most of his artists, you either still remember or still going strong today. Snoop Dogg, like him or not. Dr. Dre, like him or not. Tupac, who was already a name before his death, is basically immortal now through Death Row. And even the other side characters who weren't as popular in the mainstream, but a lot of people remember them. The Dog Pound, the Lady of Rage, DJ Quick, the DOC. A lot of cats under Death Row, people still remember. Whereas P. Diddy, almost none of the people that was under him are really doing multi-well that's ever been associated with him are doing multi-well now under his label. Now, some might argue Mary J. Blige, but you really look at it, she's not doing that well. Plus, even though she worked with Puffy, she never worked under Bad Boy. And that's what I'm talking about. People that worked under Bad Boy. Some will throw out Notorious B.I.G., but Notorious B.I.G. was arguably getting started when he got killed. And no, I don't really buy into Diddy had a hit on Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac. And plus, there's no evidence of that. When you come with me some real facts or real solid evidence and I see him getting arrested on TV, then I might buy into it. So I'm not really getting into that. But think about it. Lil Kim, the Junior Mafia. After a few years, you didn't really hear from him. The only time you hear about Lil Kim is her crazy plastic surgery. Who else? Really, Jennifer. Say what you want about Jennifer Lopez, who's still going strong, but her association with Diddy after that gun incident at the club, when she got away from him. Say what you want about her, but that was a smart move on her part. That was a smart move. I mean, she took a lot of heat for doing that, but looking back on it now, if she would have stuck by Diddy, she probably wouldn't have a career right now. She probably wouldn't have no name right now. Say what you want about her tactics, about walking around half naked, doing stuff to get attention, but she wouldn't even be relevant right now if she had stayed with Diddy. All the other acts, MC Shine ended up in jail. Kim Porter, they still can't get straight how she passed away. They still can't get that straight. And you ever notice how after every, especially somebody that was really in his circle, he makes something drawing attention to him. Now, when he did after Notorious B.I.G., we can give him a pass on that. That Every Breath, even though it wasn't really an original song, it was a song ripped off of Every Breath You Take by Sting and the Police. Sting being the singer from the UK, not the wrestler, by the way. Hey, gotta make it simplified for some folks. But but yeah. And even at the recent funeral with Kim Porter, I mean, I don't know, it just almost felt like a show for him. Like, oh, I'm a caring person and this and that. And certain people don't have much to do with Diddy. And going back to the Black Panther thing, yeah, he made some good points, but quite frankly, he sounded almost like a hater. Like he was hating on it. Like, oh, they only got to succeed because they got access to the resources for the first time. We were allowed to. No, black people been making big projects despite. Tyler Perry wasn't getting the resources, yet his plays, like The Man or Not, his plays were still hitting big. Actually, when he got the resources open to him to make other films or to make his plays in the films, I think the quality went down a little bit, quite honestly. So you can't always say that. But to me, with the Black Panther thing, he came off almost like a hater. Like, just enjoy it. Give credit where credit's due and build off of that. Rather than calling it a cruel experiment. Cruel experiment? Really? Yeah, and as far as the top level positions and everything, why you want to beg them for top level positions when you could use that to maybe make your own top level position where you're the CEO? Take that money, build your own label and such. Kind of like somebody did that a few years ago. Who was that? Oh, it was P. Diddy with Bad Boy. I don't know. This sounds like almost like we're being blocked out. Well, you're being blocked out, but you got this one hit called Black Panther. Take that opportunity and build your own. That's what I say. But it's like Diddy don't want to see nobody bigger than he is. And I guarantee you, if he had something to do with Black Panther, a lot of this stuff that he said, even though some of it makes a good point, it probably wouldn't have been said. It probably would not have been said by him at all. It probably wouldn't have never left his mouth. So that's all I'm gonna say on this. But yeah, he's always been suspect, and looking back on it now, Suge may not have been wrong about this guy. Even though Suge was far from perfect himself, he may not have been wrong about this guy. Just saying. Well, I'm out.